Hello everyone and welcome to beautiful Hampstead Pergola. I thought we should go for a walk today. It's always nice to get outside and do something else and just go slow a bit and just have a look around places that you probably don't normally visit. So let me just show you exactly where we are. Let me just turn the camera around. Now Hampstead Heath is one of the many London parks and it's situated just to the north of the centre of London, and it's not one of those parks that are hugely crowded by tourists. Sometimes in the weekends you see lots of locals, but if you compare to Hyde Park or Regent's Park or something, it is rather quiet and lovely. Let me just show you here on a map. You can read more about the pergola there, but it's a wonderful quirky structure, and you can see there on the map where we are. And I have a little route that's really lovely. Let's start walking. I'll try and keep the camera still as we walk. That take us round the back and into the garden, and we will end up back here, but we'll go through the actual structure of the pergola. Now the pergola is really lovely at all times of year. It doesn't matter if you come here in the summer, winter, spring, autumn, no matter the weather, even in the rain, it's a really lovely place. It has a very different atmosphere depending on when you visit. We've had quite a cold spring. We are now in April, so this will be a spring walk, which means that not everything is quite in full bloom yet, but we're getting there. You can see the colours changing now. Obviously in the summer it's just beautiful, everything is in bloom, and it's quite romantic almost, the atmosphere. In the winter it can be sort of quite misty and almost like walking in a black and white photo. Now, as I said, it's not a place that feels particularly crowded. It's mainly locals, it seems, that go for a walk here. You see lots of dog walkers and families with children and people going for a run and so on. One thing you see here quite often are photographers. It's a great place, as you can imagine, to do like wedding photography. So you often see photographers here with happy couples or doing photo shoots for various websites and so on. It's a huge structure, as you can probably tell. We will go up there towards the end of this little walk. I just want to take you around the back first, just to show you how big it actually is, and also to show you the garden. You can see people up there actually doing a photo shoot. It's fairly easy for photographers to find a quiet corner to set up equipment and so on, and without being too disturbed, or indeed without disturbing walkers. So it's very easy to find really pretty views from here, no matter what sort of photography you're looking to do. I've always loved walking back here. This little spot here is amazing in the summer when everything is in bloom. We have to do a summer walk too, I think, and perhaps a winter walk here as well. Here is another map. I'll just show you. You can read a bit more about the pergola. There's quite a long history behind it. It's been here for a long time. Oh, there's actually a really gorgeous photo there. I don't know if you can see it. I think it's taken in the summer. with everything looking pretty and very colourful. So now we're just walking into the structure for a little bit, and then we're going down the garden first. Now, as you can imagine, this is a pretty good spot to just find a quiet place and do some reading, or sit down and have your lunch, let the kids play around and so on. I've actually overheard some friends talk about this place as the magical garden, and I can kind of understand why. There is a little path here that leads us round the garden, and it takes us to the other side of the pond. Another thing I like about this place is how quiet it is. I mean, it's hard to believe that, well, apart from me talking, it's hard to imagine that we are actually quite close to the centre of London. We're not that far away from London. But that's a feel you often get when you walk around Hampstead, that it feels like it's almost outside. Outside the city, that is. You can barely make out traffic here. Sometimes you hear like an ambulance siren or something in the distance, but it's very hard to imagine that you are so close to the centre of one of the biggest cities. Here we get another good view of the back of the pergola. Oh, other people doing photo shoots there, I imagine. Requires a bit of dressing up. Hello there, little fella. Where are you going? I wanted to take you down here to the back and then up the stairs. That means we get sort of the full structure of the pergola almost in its full length. There are so many hidden paths around here that you can walk. So if you want to, you can always find a bench for yourself, or a quiet spot around here. Things are starting to bloom a little bit. We have had a really cold spring. It was actually snowing a bit this morning, even though we are in mid-April. Let's go up here. This looks like a little bit of a climb, but it is worth it, I promise, when we get to the top and you can have a look at the view. all the royal parks in London have a really, really different atmosphere and feel to them. They're kept really well. Some of them sort of almost wild, and they're just sort of being allowed to grow. You have lots of deers and so on, and others they do really pretty, like flower beds, and they're kept really well. They have very, very different feels to them, which is kind of lovely. I think this is definitely worth it when it comes to views. And there we have the pond again. It's also obviously a good place to exercise, as you could see, so that's good. Let's go back into the structure now. Oh, I imagine that must be a bit cold. Doing photo shoots, all dressed up on a quite a frosty morning, actually. Now let's go up the structure. You can imagine this when everything is blooming. This top bit of Hampstead is really lovely and quiet and very good for long walks. Morning.
Good morning.
Lovely, very lovely look.
Gorgeous.
This view from here is really great as well. I took a really good photo in January on a really cold, misty, frosty winter day from here, approximately here, I think. Let me see if I can find that and just show you. It was one of those days where the sun couldn't really burn through because it was still so cold, and we were in January. But at all times of year, this is just a really great place. I think they're on a bit of a break down here in the photo shoot, so let's see if we can just sneak past them.
Shoot a million plates that then become...
Sorry, can we go through? Great, thank you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and I make quite a lot of stop motion for that channel.
Oh, no.
So yeah, it's totally different skill set.
It does make for quite a pretty filming location, this place. So I can understand why people go up here for that. You also see lots of wedding photography up here, so lots of happy couples coming up here in dresses and everything. This little garden down here, with this little bit of the structure, is very lovely as well. Spring is coming, as you can see. It's taking its time. this year, but I'm sure it will be great. Oh yeah, I just see a biker there now. There are some really good cycling routes as well around here. It's a great place to come with kids as well. It's a lovely place to play. And you can just tell they enjoy it, no matter what age they are. I think we have to come up here again for a little summer walk and maybe a winter walk as well, just to get a sense of the different atmospheres around here. I hope you can actually hear the birds as well. They're quite active this morning. I don't know how much you can hear. So we're nearly back to where we started. It's not a long route, this one, but it's really lovely. There's a lot to look at. So let's just walk down the stairs and oops, sorry if that made you feel a bit dizzy. As you can tell, there's so many different paths you can walk around here. There's so many hidden corners and places to hide, so I can understand why it's a great place for kids to come and play. Now this brings us back to where we started actually. So I hope you enjoyed this little walk. It's nice to just sometimes just go slow a bit and just have a look at other places. And I know maybe some of you haven't been here before or haven't had a chance to actually have a walk around the pergola. But Hampstead Heath is a really, really lovely park, and we can do some more walks maybe around the park someday and just enjoy the views and enjoy some different walks from where we normally are. I hope you enjoy this. Please take care and see you later.